Hey, what's happening everyone? It's Dealer back with another Modern Era G.I. Joe review. And for this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 50th anniversary Conrad Duke Hauser that was included in the 2-pack with Tombstone. And I'll just start off by saying I got some very mixed feelings on this figure. And having said that, we'll go ahead and just jump right in here. So, let me find the US. Alright, so here's his file card, and as per the usual, I'll leave that up for a sec so my fellow Joe heads can pause and get caught up on the backstory on this guy. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because these file cards aren't really written that well. So there's that for my international folks, and then there's that one. And that one. All right. So now we got that out of the way. Let's talk gear. So he comes with standard issue pistol. We've seen it plenty of times. Same pistol that actually came with the Retaliation Night Viper. Comes with, speaking of the Night Viper, comes with the same rifle that the Night Viper came with. It's like a modified, maybe an AR-15 or something similar. You got the collapsible stock, you got the optics, you got the nice suppressed barrel here, you got the forward grip, and then you got the nice magazine. And man, I hope that line work on this gun is showing through, because this is one of my favorite guns that they've done, just for the real factor on it. I mean, you even got the iron sights right there. So bravo to the attention to detail on this particular piece here. Moving on, he's got the Night Viper backpack, and it's painted green right here, and then you see all the nice, I hope that's showing through, all the nice line work. I've done some moving around with my lighting in here, so I hope that this is coming through okay for you guys. But anyway, you got good straps in here. I mean, good detail all around. Again, for my fellow customizers, I mean, you could really, sky's the limit with this, like what you want to do with it. Back does have a hollowed out spot so that you can, I think, fit the gun. I don't remember how I had it. I think I had it like this, but we'll take a look at it when he's all geared up. And then, lastly, getting in here, we got this rifle here, and I've said it before. I think we took a look at this in one of my other videos. This accessory is one of my favorite accessories. I like the gimmick, fact that you can, take the clip out, and the clip is done very nicely. Like, you can see that line work in there. So there's the magazine, and then, I mean, overall line work on this particular piece here is fantastic. You got a rail system up here. You got this handle, which I have no idea what like why that's on there, but I'll take it. You got the kind of stock where it rests. I think this should rest like kind of on like the bicep area when you're holding it up. So I guess it'll give you some options. You can either hold it from the grip here and the handle here, or the grip and then have them like cuffing it from the bottom or whatever. But again, nothing really new here. So comes with a double pegged stand. They spell out his full name, and then put like his code name in air quotes, or in air quotes. I used air quotes in quotes. So there's that. And then getting right into the figure. So head sculpt is from the Pursuit of Cobra Duke. Scars present. I'm not sure how. Oh, camera lets us get in pretty close today. She's in a good mood. So you got the scar here. Here's what I'll say about this. This is probably the best head sculpt I've seen on a Duke figure. You have like the cartoon reminiscent yellow hair, yellow eyebrows, and then the eyes are painted on flawless. Like, that is flawless. This is what I would expect from like a modern offered Joe. Note the clean, how clean it is around the ears. There's like no overspray, no splotchy work, and yellow is one of the hardest colors to work with. Yellow, orange, white, and red. Those are the colors that I dread. And there's a rhyme for you guys, inadvertently. So anyway, I'm not sure what vest this is. I'm pretty sure this has been a oh, I know what vest this is. This is the Shock Trooper vest. It looks different because like it's actually like painted as opposed to just being like all the same color. So here's the deal. These accessories that we get with these scale figures are phenomenal. Line work, the ammo pouches, the straps, the little bits and details that are sculpted on here. Whoever's on point, or whoever was on point for the Pursuit of Cobra era, because let's just face it, that's where this bit comes from. I hope those dudes are still around somewhere. You know what? As good as the Star Wars figures look, they're probably on the Star Wars team since the Pursuit of Cobra has been retired and G.I. Joe's kind of been on a hiatus. Anyway, turning the figure around, you have here the port where the walkie-talkie would plug in for the Shock Trooper. Alas, it is not included with this figure, and that's neither here nor there, I guess. So then you got the straps painted, and they carry through, so they go up and then it looks like under here, and that looks great. You got gray around the neck piece. Not sure why. Maybe that's just to break the figure up or whatever. And then it looks like that this torso, at least these pieces, might be from like. No, I think these are from the Retaliation Trooper, actually. I think this is from the Retaliation Trooper because it has this weird shoulder joint. Anyway, so range of motion on the arms is really good. The hands are done in gray, and I will say that they do have the updated joint on them, so you can get whatever pose that your heart desires. And then continuing down here, so transitions from yellow to green. This is painted because you can kind of see some bleed through here. And this is like kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, to me, this should have been addressed. Like, they should have just went in there and just just dabbed, with a brush or something. And granted, I know a lot of this stuff is done like on the assembly line now. And I think that's a QC oversight in my opinion. So anyway, same leg as the Retaliation Trooper. He's got the gray knee pads. Those look good. This figure does incorporate the double knee joint, and you get great range of articulation there, so you can get whatever pose you want. Now, looking at the ankles, this does have the updated Retaliation ankle joint, and for the Trooper, it was really bizarre because you get up and down, right? Or I should say you get down, and then it'll go back up, right? But then you get this tilt. So if you wanted to come like out, you could achieve some pretty, dynamic poses here because the way that this maneuvers and allows you to achieve those kind of wide stances, or maybe he's crouched down, and see that the problem with this is this would allow for like an upward motion, but since the sculpt is hindered here because of this cuff, like this boot cuff or whatever, you don't get up, you just get down. But nonetheless, I mean, I still got to give credit where credit's due. You can get some pretty good poses because of the way that this moves here. So kudos to them for that. Taking a look at the elbows, and I realize we're kind of flying through this review, but like I said, there's nothing really new here. So elbow joints get you out to there, and actually they get you a little bit more. So straight elbow joint, like straight up, well done elbow joint. And then again on this side you have the updated pivot point, and then you get the swivel. So this is good there. And here's what I'll say, like for these scale figures, I mean, you get what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll just say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 points of articulation if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. And that is fan-freaking-tastic for a figure of this scale. It should also be noted that this figure, because of how the ball joint sits in the head, you do get a slight upward and downward, which is not very typical for figures in the G.I. Joe line. Usually it's left, right, or sorry, his left, his right, and that's it. So the fact that you get this is pretty impressive. So that's what I'll say as far as the tooling and the overall range of motion on this figure. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him geared up. We'll do a comparison with, you know, maybe another Duke figure or two, and come back with a final verdict on where we sit with this guy. All right, so here he is next to some of his doppelgangers, and here's what I'll tell you. Yes, the overall articulation of this figure works. I still am at odds with the fact that they chose to throw him in with Tombstone, because that feels very out of place to me. Like, here's the deal. Like, I've got enough Dukes. Like, between these three, I've got more Duke than I need. And then, you know, you throw that in the mix, that's a custom I did a while back. This is like my definitive Duke. You know, you throw that in, and, you know, I'm sitting at 4 of the same character already. Granted, different get-ups, I get it, but, you know, I would have been fine with these 3 here. Like, this figure doesn't fit with the look. Like, this guy looks like he popped straight out of the 90s. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't do his hair green like they did with the 90s version Duke. Because this figure looks like it would fit in with my Eco Warrior set from the club. Like, it really does. Like, the only thing he's missing is a helmet. So I don't understand the choice here as to why. Is it a good figure? Yeah, it's a good figure. I mean, it's used parts from the past that have worked. I mean, granted, the Retaliation Trooper had its own issues, but it feels more refined here. He does have a bit of a problem. See, and I can't. Of course, it holds, you know, when I'm recording, but the pegs do have a tendency to come off the stand. But, you know, should you get the 2-pack? Here's the deal. I mean, I got to be as consistent as possible with you know, with my viewers, the guys that tune in and choose to watch my videos. If we want to see the brand continue, if we want the brand to succeed, I mean, we've got to buy in. Do I think that the 2-pack offers enough to warrant a purchase? I mean, the fact that you get a brand spanking new character out of it, I lean towards yes, but it's a reluctant yes. Like, do you need, like, is Tombstone a must-have character? Debatable. I mean, I bought it because the figures, I mean, we've been in a drought, and I'm just glad to see product on the shelves. So as a fan, this is my brand. Like, G.I. Joe, let's just get one thing straight. G.I. Joe is my brand. That is my go-to brand for everything. I dabble in Marvel Legends, and when I say dabble, I mean I dabble. Like, I'm very picky. And I'm, you know, shout outs to my boy Darren, you know, from the Hardcore Collectors group on Facebook. He's the reason I bought back into Transformers. Like, I dabble in Transformers. I dabble in Marvel Legends. G.I. Joe, this is my brand. That's my brand. So when there's new product, yeah, I buy it. Should you buy it? I don't know. If it's your brand, I would say, yeah, it's a no-brainer. You probably already have the 2-pack. If it's not your brand, it might be a pass. Like, if Tombstone does nothing for you, if having a new figure does nothing for you, then it's probably a pass. But for me personally, I bought it. And I'm okay with it. So those are my final thoughts. And I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to get all worked up and get on a tangent here. It's just, for me, G.I. Joe is it's a sensitive subject right now because of it's kind of in this limbo status. Like, yeah, there's little product on the shelf right now, and that's great. I mean, anytime Joe product is on the shelf, you know, that's a great thing to see. That's a great thing to walk into a toy store and still see the definitive action figure hanging out on the pegs with all the new stuff. So, because I mean, arguably, like, all the new stuff came from, because, you know, this kind of set a bar for what it means to be an action figure, even when it came out back in, what was it, the 60s, the 70s? So there's that. But again, it's a little frustrating for me. It's a little bit of a sore spot for me because, you know, Hasbro doesn't seem to know what to do with this. And I don't know the toy business. I don't know the toy industry. I do know business. You know, I've got a corporate job. I don't do this full time. You know, I work full time. I work for my money like all of y'all, and I pay for my figures like all of y'all do. But I know business. And sometimes, you know, I read the news that gets posted on His Tank. I read the news that gets posted on Facebook. You know, oh, we're merging the universes. Like, okay, what does that mean? And then it's, oh, we're throwing Mask and Micronauts into the mix. And then I'm just like, wow, like, And I don't know, I got to check out the new comic run, because like I hear that everyone makes an appearance. Like I hear Transformers, Micronauts, Mask, and G.I. Joe are kind of like all hanging out for the moment. And maybe I should just get caught up on that. But again, G.I. Joe, if it belongs anywhere, if you're going to merge it with anything, it has to be merged with the Autobot and Decepticon houses. G.I. Joe and Autobot, Cobra and Decepticon, it's like that's like a match made in heaven. Yes, Mask does work to an extent, but unless they're planning on expanding the limited roster of Mask characters, that will only work for so long. I mean, Transformers, your options are limited. Like, why can't you have a true Hound Scarlet Snake Eyes pack where the Vamp actually transforms into Hound? And in vehicle mode, you can accommodate one or two Joes. Like, that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for that. The SDCC sets, yeah, I buy into them because it's like a teaser for me. That's like, you're teasing me. All right, stop playing. Stop playing with my emotions. But when you're talking about merging the universe, or you're talking about like there's an uncertainty for the brand, or like you look like you've lost confidence in your brand, like Hasbro, this is your brand. This is the brand. Like this put Hasbro on the map. I mean, G.I. Joe was like the #1 selling action figure in the 80s. And granted, that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where toys actually had a place on the shelf. Now it's like, you know, it's video games. The kids want to play with their apps on their cell phones, whatever. So we're kind of fossils. Like we are a dying breed. Like these probably won't be around for my grandson's generation. And that's a bummer. But nonetheless, I hope they get it figured out. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to stop on the crazy tangent. And I'll say this. If you want 2 solid action figures, buy the pack. If none of these characters aren't doing anything for you, then it's probably an easy pass. I mean, especially at $16.99. So those are my thoughts that I will leave you with, my final thoughts on this 2-pack, and I will leave you with that. And I hope that these guys are showing through okay. I mean, it looks like it's showing through all right on the screen. So anyway, appreciate you guys subscribing. I mean, I see it's going up slowly. So I really want to thank you guys. Appreciate y'all watching the videos. Y'all are obviously watching them because the views are going up. So I really appreciate that. We might do like a 100 subscriber giveaway or something like that. I got to figure it out. Maybe I'll reach out to one of my other reviewers to see like how they keep tabs on that or whatever, or do some more research. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Till next time, we will catch you on the flip side for the next video. Take care.